The name, Clarke Cable. The show, the Clarke Cable Investigation Report Information Broadcast Daily Show. Let's get in the crease. Most people have personalities. Some are lucky enough to have two. And in some rare, fortunate cases, several. So imagine my surprise when I found out it wasn't all John Lennon's and Ringo Starling's in this world of personality bleeds. Personality bleeds. Personality Beatles. Personality disorder. It's the new child on the chopping block. And it's gathering celebrity support from the likes of Freddie Starr, Prince George, Michael, Prince and George Michael, Glenn from Home and Away, and Jon Snow. Personality disorder. We thought it'd be good to get out there on the street and get your guys' views on personality disorder. Those crazy nights with a flannel.
Excuse me. Do you mind moving along, please? This is our wall and my wife's in there and we're trying to have a baby. So if you could move on, that'd be great.
I think he might be Yakuza.
Well, it's a range of psychological conditions. Pretty complicated. Not that well understood, I don't think. Pretty frightening when you encounter it, or it can be.
Personality disorder is a mental illness or a mental health condition whereby somebody has maybe multiple personalities or their personality is disordered, so it lacks coherence.
I think it comes from the outside. People that are looking in, or society kind of judging someone based on maybe they're having quirks in their character or defaults in their character that we don't see as normal.
It's a harder question to answer than you think, but I think that's probably because I don't know that much about it. What I'd understand about it is when people have thoughts which are abnormal and they don't necessarily understand that they are abnormal themselves.
It's like listening to Thin Air, you might as well be imagining the music in your head.
Good people. Do you want to know what makes me sick? The homeless. Is it just me? Or is it about time we solve this little problem? Once and for all. Help those poor sons of poor bitches get a roof. Consider this. We're the dominant species on this Mother's Earth. Top of the food chain, packing thumbs. So why is it only our race that has to deal with all those homelessness? Birds have houses. Worms have houses too. Heck, snails carry around the houses on the back. Imagine having that kind of luxury. The carefree ambivalence that comes with knowing that you're only ever a scared retreat away from a strawberry Nutrigrain in bed. I've read that some people having to go without homes is probably wrong. We're not slugs. You wouldn't see a homeless dog. Well, unless they were with a homeless man, you know. They're such giving, selfless little beasts, aren't they? You know. Yeah, well. I'll stick with you through thick and thin, those things. Best friend, portly little 12-year-old boy could ever ask for, really. The reason they say it, don't they? They say it. As loyal as a... As loyal as a... with a dog. No one's fault. It's just, you can't control the tide. It's too strong. Sure, my recall could have been stronger, but I left the sausages at home and... No one's fault, no. It's an accident. Dogs is just... They see something, they'll go for it, you know. Personality disorder is found in people, and just like zombies, the homeless are, you know, relatively human too. So, you know, it's very hard being homeless, and you add on PD, and it's just even worse. You don't want that. So we're investigating how prevalent it is within the homeless community. Let's hear from the man on the street.
I think it would be higher because they probably have more stresses and more trigger factors like involving, and constantly dwelling on the homeless issues. The pressures will probably be quite high.
Extremely prevalent. Very high incidence of it, I would imagine. Either people have become homeless because they've had the incapacity to manage the structures within their life, and it hasn't been picked up because often people can perceive of it as being an antisocial behaviour or a disruptive behaviour that they don't really want to engage with and they can't really understand. And if people are from hard to reach groups anyway, then they may not have been able to access services to be able to support them to understand their own condition, or to be able to put structures into their life to be able to cope with what is basically slightly a difference or a variance from other people.
I don't think it's the type of thing that would be easily treated if you're homeless, because you don't have access to maybe a GP or services that could help you get through it.
You often see people walking down the street. Well, I live in Brixton, and all the time you see people walking down the street, and they're what we would classify as crazy. And you say, oh, there's a crazy person over there, and they're just walking down the street shouting or talking to themselves, and it's just sort of taken as a fact of society. But actually, when you think about it, how has it got to that stage in the first place?
I mean, a lot of addiction problems amongst homeless people, but I was homeless for a year. I wasn't on the street, but I suppose my depression was probably kind of part of the reason why I ended up sort of without any resources.
Don't tell me to calm down. Look, I know accidents happen, but where were you? Dogs don't commit suicide, you bloody mad woman. Depressed. He wasn't depressed. He had me. We had each other. It was him, and it was me and him against the world, and it was me and him against you. And you hated it, didn't you? Look, yes, I am 33, and I'm gonna make something of myself, eh? Yeah. But... Oh, big words. Oh, yeah. Listen, Mum, okay? You listen to this, right? You You were a wanker. Don't cry.
Okay, now, yeah? What should be done to help homeless people with personality disorder?
I mean, I think a lot of different things. I think there needs to be a lot of financial investment in services to support people with the whole spectrum of mental health problems. It doesn't seem to be a priority. It's a priority for the Lib Dems, but they're not really a big party anymore. So there needs to be a lot more money. There needs to be a lot more in terms of the NHS having money to be able to refer people onto services, because a lot of those services are being closed down.
I think a drop-in centre would be good, or like an outreach service. So I know that there are things where I used to live, there was like a sort of homeless action group, and they'd go and seek homeless people and see if they needed, you know, food or overnight accommodation or whatever. So if you could try and maybe intertwine like some sort of action plan into that.
I think it's about acceptance as well, because I think it fits into the mental health disorders, and I think it's something like 1 in 4 people have a mental health disorder, and that's probably the one condition that's not accepted yet in society.
Well, I suppose actually it's really hard for them to go and ask for help, because if you have a personality disorder, the very nature of it is that you're not functioning yourself. You need to have people who can identify a problem with you for you almost, and then give you help.
Maybe even when they have like little food sales, the food shelters where they can go to free food, they could have like a little talk with someone if needed be, and then it could be their freedom of choice to do it.
I don't know how it's prevented and how it's comes around. But for example, like, I think that, you know, quite a few people here have personality disorders.
Hello? Hi. Hi. Yeah. If I were to come along on the train today, how many Dalmatians could I take home with me? Oh yes, yes. Oh, I'll bring a bag or something. Yes, I'm sure it'll be fine. Really? Wow. Yeah. Yeah, that's great. Yeah. Oh, yeah, of course. I'll be there today. Yes. Yes. Thank you. Thank you.